Hello, welcome to the One I Have Spare Time podcast. My name is Frank, and I'll be sitting here talking to you for a few minutes. As usual, I'm wearing clothes, and I'm just wearing clothes. I uh, I love it when the jokes write themselves. And at first, I thought it was the joke, but as you know, the Democrats are blaming young men for the reason why they lost the 2024 election, because of young men voted for Kamala Harris. Supposedly, they would have won. I mean, I don't know if that's true, but that's what all the quote unquote experts are saying. And I don't know about you, but I don't trust the experts. I mean, I haven't trusted the experts for a long time, but if you still trust the experts after what happened with the lab leak flu, then that's what they just do you. But so they have decided to use this woman right here. What's her name? Olivia Giuliani, to get young men back. What's the jokes write themselves. So to get young men back to vote Democrat, they want to use her. A I mean, I don't know what the or like, because I googled her name, and so this person, I don't know. It's you see the pictures, right? Okay, so I don't know why you think a a fat lesbian, because that's what she is. I don't know why. I'm trying to get a bigger picture. Pun intended. Pun intended. Intended. I don't know why you think. Whatever. I don't know why you think that this is going to get young men to vote Democrat, because like, when I think of the Democratic Party, this is what I think of. I think of gay stuff, like gay, 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 trans, trans, trans. Men are bad. Um, like everything, like healthy is bad. So like men working out is bad. Men, men, just like like men being in the army. Like it's anti-armed forces. Like that's a very manly thing. Being in the army, the navy, whatever. It's like like all the army commercials were like women and like gay stuff. Like it's very feminine, the Democratic Party. And then when you think of democratic cities, they're all um like the crime is crazy. It's, I mean, once again, it's anti-man. It's like, they're anti-police. Like 90% of police are men. And then like when they do, like force the issue, and like whatever, like have like all female firefighters or something, it's like it just doesn't work out. It's basically they're trying to replace men with women, and then the men that are there, they want to make them more feminine. And then like I don't and then like when I think of the Democratic Party, I think they're anti-family. Usually a family, that's usually what a man wants, like a wife and kids. So that seems very anti. They're just, everything's anti-man. That's the vibe. And then you got to remember, the average man, I want to say 99% of the male population is straight. Okay, so what do you think is going to happen when you like on Biden's cabinet, like like it was very important that everyone know that like this person on their cabinet's gay, this person on their cabinet's trans, this person likes to dress up as a dog. The average guy is not into that and doesn't want to be into that. Like the average guy doesn't want to look at the White House and there's pride flags hanging from it. The only thing that does is make the country weaker. It makes just everyone weak. So when you have this person, you're going to use her to get men back. It's going to do the opposite. Why would like? I mean, I don't like the Democratic Party anyway. Granted, I don't do it by team though. I'm just saying the overall feeling of the Democratic Party. I'm a person that votes on issues, but anyway. If you wanted to get people back in the Democratic Party, if you had a hot chick who, liked men and thought masculinity was a good thing, I mean, that would get a bunch of guys like in on the party just because guys like hot chicks and like they're going to associate a hot chick with the Democratic Party. So now you have everything I just said about the Democratic Party and then add on associating this fat lesbian with it. Okay, you're just going to repel more people. Also, if you want to get men back, ask a man. Why are you asking a lesbian? That makes no sense. And that's another thing with the Democratic Party. For some reason, they don't know what men are and they don't know what women are. I've seen judges trying to get sworn in and they were Democrat, and Congress would ask them a simple question: what is a woman? And they go, I don't know. What does that mean, you don't know? I mean, there's so much wrong with the Democratic Party. Like, if they got rid of the identity politics, like, the first thing they have to do is let's leave sexuality alone. Okay? Don't celebrate a person's sexuality. How weird is it that when they like their what's her name, like KPJ, the press secretary they had, like the black lesbian, like I know her as the black lesbian because when she got hired, that's all they talked about. She's a black lesbian. What are her qualifications other than being a black lesbian? So it's like when people think about the Democratic Party, they think of people who aren't qualified to be in that position. And then you see people even today in the Democratic Party actively choosing illegal aliens over American citizens. Okay, well, don't you think that's going to turn off a lot of people? Young men, young women, just people. We live in America. Most people that live in America like being in America because they know what the alternative could be. And like everyone's like, well, America's not so whatever great. Well, compared to other countries, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. But see, this makes me think that who's ever really in charge wants the Republicans to win. Because there is no way in hell that this is going to work. And, if you have a face for radio, you should stick to radio. I don't know what else to say. If you have a face for radio, you should stick to radio. Like, this is not gonna get me to vote for the Democratic Party. There is nothing this lesbian can tell me to make me vote for whoever the Democrats have running. The only way I would vote for a Democratic I mean, a Democrat president in the next election is if like JD Vance switched to the Democratic Party or Tulsi Gabbard like switched back, but they kept their same views. They kept their Republican views. Like that's basically the only way you're gonna get most sane people to vote Democrat is if you get a really really popular Republican and they just switch parties, but they keep their same beliefs. Because like this is not gonna do it, and this makes me think it's on purpose, or who's ever in charge is really stupid. And they had someone, David Hogg, and you say what you want to say about him. He was a young man, and he wasn't pushing, at least to my knowledge, he wasn't pushing gay stuff. He's probably gay. It doesn't matter, but it's not like he had a transgender assistant. he just came off as like a really, whatever, like beta type of guy, but at least he spoke with assertiveness. You could tell he meant what he said. At least his personality came off as someone who a young person would be drawn to. Also, when you think of the Democratic Party, I think of really 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 old people. They're either really really old, or really really dumb, or really really racist. And how many times, if you disagree with a person who's a Democrat, or you have a Democrat politician, and their only response to someone who's a Republican is "you're a Nazi"? How many times has the word Nazi been used by a Democrat to describe the Republican Party? The word Nazi has lost its meaning. And also, I don't know, are they doing that because they don't like the Jews? Because, I don't know, it seems like they're, because I see a lot of protests against what's going on over there in Gaza, and it's Democrats protesting, and they're protesting Jerusalem. They're protesting. I'm sorry, Israel, whatever. And it's all this like free Palestine. They're pro Hamas. It's overtly racist. Now, and whether you like one or the other, you still don't want racist associated with your party, and you don't want your party to be associated. Like you're the people that just call everyone a Nazi if they disagree with you, or you're the people that physically attack people if they disagree with you. Like the Democrat Party acts like a young person who was raised without a father and is very emotional, and during that emotion can't decipher right from wrong. So when I think of the Democrat Party, I think of all those bad things. And so maybe I've been a lifelong Democrat, but I'd be embarrassed to say I was. The Republican Party, I think of, okay, they like the police, they want to cut down on crime, they're pro-America, they want to put American citizens first, they want to kick out illegal aliens instead of taking away from citizens and giving them the benefits. I mean, those are positives. I think when I think of the economy, I think of Democrats say they want one thing, but everything they do makes the economy worse. Like, for example, trying to make everything electric. Like the average person cannot afford an electric car. The average person is poor, and I think the average electric car costs, I think, the last number I saw was like $55,000. Like it was a lot. Now, I heard Elon Musk say that they're not that expensive, but I mean, can you trust Elon Musk? I mean, he's the richest guy in the world, so nothing's really expensive to him. But anyway, just saying the average person's poor, so the average person cannot afford an electric car. Okay, and the average person does not care about the environment because climate change, and I know this is hard for people to understand, climate change is real, meaning the climate does change, but the Democrat definition of climate change really means we're gonna put a bunch of rules in place so businesses can't can't work in America and have to go overseas where they don't have all these crazy regulations. But here's the thing: um, humans don't affect the weather the way the Democrats will make you think we do. So that's when I say climate change isn't real, meaning we can't affect it. It doesn't matter what we do, and you can look this up, but see, they don't tell you this. We have 10,000, 20,000, 40,000, 100,000, and 200,000 year weather patterns. It's been going on since the earth was formed. We know this due to ice core samples. You can tell by sediment rock layers. You can tell by earth samples. Like, once again, I'm not a scientist, but that's what they say anyway. We don't affect the weather because it's going to change anyway, and also the Earth's orbit, because if it fluctuates between a perfect circle and an oval, and depending on which phase we're in, that affects the weather. The Earth's axis tilts between 21 and I think 23 degrees or 24 degrees, but that little wobble, it affects the weather. So I'm just saying, there's things out of our control. And another thing they don't tell you about climate change: if you took every car off the road in America, it wouldn't make a difference. And you go, why? Well, because China doubled its coal production, and that cancels out everything. Because remember, we live on Earth, we share one atmosphere. So it doesn't matter what America does. What does India do? What does China like? So if you think your electric car is going to change anything, it doesn't. But what it will do, it'll make China money. And I'm not against China. I'm just saying, all the stuff we use to build the batteries, we mine that in China, and apparently, making an electric car battery is worse for the environment than just putting gas in your car. It's just a big scam. You're being lied to. But here's the thing: you have to do your own research. I've done research. Do your own research. If you do your own research and get your information from a retired person, because if someone works for like a news station, they're gonna just say what needs to be said. So like if you watch like MSNBC and they're talking about climate change, they're going to say something completely different than like a retired professor from Stanford. It's just how it is. And there's plenty of independent people who aren't partisan and just tell you the truth. And once again, we have ice core samples that can tell you this. I'm bird walking back to this, but anyway, so I associate lying about climate change with the Democrat Party, for sure. I just associate lies. I know both sides lie, but the lies the Democrats are telling you, it comes off as they're trying to make America really weak and they're trying to destroy. We have to take her off this. We have to get rid of that. Anyway, it comes off as they're trying to make the country weak, And so you have to think why. What is the end goal? And then you have other world leaders who were quote unquote our enemies who wanted Biden or Kamala to win. Well, that's a bad sign. Like Hamas wanted Kamala to win. Um, Vladimir Putin, he wanted Biden or Kamala to win. That's that's not good, you know. And then like I think of the lack of freedom of speech when it comes to the Democrat Party. They're the party of censorship. You remember when we had the lab leak flu, and if you said anything that the Democratic Party disagreed with, you got yanked off the internet. Okay? They took control of Facebook. They took control of YouTube. Like I lost a couple of Facebook accounts because I said masks don't work. Because well, they don't. Like I didn't know I couldn't have, and let's just say I was wrong. Like, so I don't have the freedom of speech to voice my opinion. I don't have the freedom of speech to go, hey, wait a moment. This is the flu. There's no cure for the flu because people get flu shots every year, but we still have the flu. So what's so special about this vaccine? And then my video gets taken down, or my post gets taken down, or my tweet gets taken down. Like you're not even allowed to ask questions with the Democrat Party. But I don't associate that with the Republican Party. So young men like to talk. Young men want to put their opinion out there. So what? You're not allowed to talk? I mean, there's so many things that have lost young men. So I don't know why you think asking a woman who is a fat lesbian is going to change. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, am I crazy? It just doesn't make sense. And there's a lot of bad things with both parties. Like, that's why when people ask, like, I don't support politicians. I support certain issues. And like, what about gun control? Any form of gun control is illegal. We are the militia. I mean, and I know, like, but we should still use what the founding fathers put in place. And like, the Constitution is a living document. But the only reason why, quote unquote, gun control exists is because they didn't want ex or former slaves to be able to get guns. That's the first time in our history we actually had gun laws. Before that, just you could do whatever you want with your gun. I mean, obviously, you know what I mean. Like, you can't walk around killing people, but you could own a gun. You just buy one. And then the thing that Democrats don't get, or maybe they do, only good people follow the law. So you could have a billion gun laws and restrictions. So do you think the person who's going to rob the liquor store, do you think, you know what? It's illegal for me to have this gun. You know what? I'm not going to get it. I'm not going to buy it off the guy in the corner or, on the street corner. No. The only people who are hurt from gun laws are law-abiding citizens. And you put power into criminals. Okay? And I'm sure they know that. Do they want the citizens to live in fear? I mean, look at the border. They let in millions of people. And how many of those people were unattended children? I keep hearing crazy numbers, like over 200,000 children are missing that cross the border. They're unaccounted for. They are missing. So what do you think happened? And that number could be lower, it could be higher. Because I don't even know how they keep track of this number. Okay, but the number I've heard between 100,000 and 200,000. So I don't know, but let's go on the low end. So over 100,000 children are unaccounted for that cross the border illegally. Is that the real reason why the border was open? Probably. Because you're pushing all this LGPD stuff, and it's almost a good thing the lockdown happened, because that's how all the parents found out about all the gay shit they were pushing on the kids. And this is Democrats. Like, there is a lot of disgusting things associated with the Democrat Party. And then you have senators and congressmen in the Democrat Party who are openly racist towards white people or openly sexist towards men. Um, if you're worried about winning an election, instead of focusing on, because you love identity politics, instead of focusing on like the Latino vote or the whatever, the black vote, you better focus on the white vote. I think, don't they make up 70% of the population? But yet you have people in the Democrat Party going like, we need less white men. Well, like, racism against anything offends a lot of people. It just doesn't, offend the people you're talking to. Like, I've seen different races get mad because, like, I've seen white people get mad because someone was making fun of Asians, or just any combination. Some people are really turned off by racism, but if you would listen to someone who's a Democrat, you would hear that like white people are the problem, or like neo Nazis are the biggest threat in America. I've never met one. I've never seen one. The way the Democrat Party talks, you would think half the white population are neo Nazis, when the biggest threat in America is actually all the rioters. Because anytime there's a social issue, you'll have senators riling up people, Democratic senators and governors and whatever, trying to rile people up, go like, we need to protest, we need to get out there. And for a fact, anytime you say we need to get out there, there's going to be a riot. There's no such thing as peaceful protesting unless it's being covered by CNN, and they will lie about it. All these things are associated with the Democrat Party. You have to unassociate yourself with this stuff. You have to get rid of crazy far extremists in your party. Like, you have to get rid of AOC. Men are not going to vote for her. They're just not. And there's a bunch of people like her you got to get rid of. Now, you do need young people in there, but you need people with common sense and people who basically, you need young Republicans to switch to Democrat and keep their same talking points. It's just that they changed the R to a D. I mean, that's literally what the Democrats have to do to get young men back. You got to put America first. You have to fight more for American citizens than illegal aliens. You have to have a border. If you don't have a border, you don't have a country. Just like that terrorist attack in Colorado, where the Muslim guy was throwing Molotov cocktails at Jews. Yeah, he was an illegal immigrant. He was in this country illegally. I mean, that makes you look bad. Now, he didn't come across the open border, but the fact that an illegal alien did it and you had an open border for 4 years, we associate that with the Democrat Party. I associate danger, I associate lies, I associate censorship with the Democrat Party. How do you fix that? Well, obviously you gotta do the opposite. I associate this I associate this with the Democrat Party. I associate being insulted that they think a lesbian is going to be able to convince men to join the party. It shows you what they think of men, that they have this to talk to us to get us to switch our vote. Also, the Democrat Party is a handout party. Like welfare and whatever, food stamps. Like, I understand if you're hard on your luck or whatever, down on your luck, because like the economy was so bad because of the Democrat policies. But the amount of I don't know what's called, like food stamp fraud, and like fraud is rampant, and that's our tax dollars being wasted, just in like billions of dollars being wasted on people who don't actually need it. And instead of having a welfare state, wouldn't it be better if those people were working? Why not put that money into job training, and instead of giving someone, because some people were getting $4,000 a month in food stamps and just benefits. Imagine if that money went to like job training for that person. That would be a lot better for our country. Democrats, to me, seem like they're the party of keeping the citizens down, keeping the citizens weak. They want everyone to weigh as much as her, and they probably want everyone to be gay. Once again, that is all those things I associate with the Democrat Party. That's not good. You have lost people for life. There are people who will never vote Democrat again because they had Dylan Mulvaney at the White House talking to the president. You're telling me the president has time to talk to a man in woman face, a literally deranged, crazy man in a dress is talking to the president? That's embarrassing. That alone would make me never want to vote Democrat again. I mean, this is common sense. The president reflects, you would like to think, reflects America. So, and then think about all the lies and all the cover up of Biden. Now, if you listen to me on my podcast when like years ago, and I said, I'm not voting for Biden. He's too old and he comes off as mentally unfit. And I said that way before the election. I mean, it was obvious to me. I mean, just because you tell me something doesn't mean I believe it. I mean, and that goes for both parties. Anytime a politician talks, I'm like, maybe it's true. But at least on the Republican side, I'm like, well, maybe it is true. On the Democrat side, I'm like, it's probably not true. I know they're both bad, but there is a slight difference. And sometimes you have to just go with the person that's less bad. The Democrat Party, I associate war. I mean, war makes money for some people, but not the average poor person. Remember, the average American's poor. We have young men and women dying for why? No reason. You have Democrats right now who want us to go to war with Iran. They're mad because Donald Trump is trying to make a peace deal with Iran. They want us to go to war. You have to get rid of that. I mean, doesn't common sense say that if you're the party that just wants to go to war all the time, that, yeah, like maybe young men, because young men are the ones that are going to get drafted, don't want that? Wouldn't you want to vote for the party that's all about peace if you're a young man because you're the one that's going to get drafted? Makes sense to me. So I don't know why you're using her to try to get young men when, well, hey, I just told you a bunch of stuff what to do that can help you out. But no one listens to me because I'm just, some guy that likes K-pop in his mother's basement. But I've said my piece. You guys have a good one. I'll talk to you later. Peace.